Okay. So in our previous session, we just had the basic introduction like what is ERP, and we saw about what is difference between SAP and PaaS, and then we had a difference between general overview about what is general ledger and sub ledger. So now on day two, what we will do, we will start the configuration in our instance. So as I told, I have prepared the task list like to configure the GL. What are all the things we need by in the sequence? I have prepared this sheet. This is the list, and then this all the reference tabs. So in previous session we saw this implementation project offerings and then implementation user. So these three we have covered. Now we will start with primary ledger configuration. So before we start the primary ledger configuration, we have to understand about the enterprise structure. What is enterprise structure? And then I have prepared this sheet up to accounts payable. So this configuration guide will help you from GL to AP, and then after once we complete the AP, we will fill AR also. So one second. We'll start with enterprise structure. What is enterprise structure in ERP or in general overview? See, what happens exactly is, for example, let us take Tata Motors, or we will take Tata. So in India or across the globe, Tata is on several industries. Like if we take fashion, retail, motors, etc., etc. Fashion, we have a Zudio. Retail, we have a Big Basket. And under motors, we have a Tata Motors. Let's say Tata Group India. Okay, so for example, we have taken these three industries for Tata Group. In Tata Group India, we have three different vertical industries. One is under fashion, we have a Zudio, and then in retail industry, we have a Big Basket, and in motors, we have a Tata Motors. Okay, now let's say this Tata Group is having this three different vertical industries in all over the India, correct? Tata Motors, we can buy car in any of the showroom like Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Big Basket we can also buy anywhere all over the all the states from India, and Zudia as well. Okay, so this enterprise structure, how it will work is this Tata Group will be a yet one. It will be called as business unit. It will be called as a legal entity. Sorry, legal entity. So what Tata Motors will do is they will have a legal entity with a company under the Companies Act and the legal identification number for this Tata Group. Legal entity will be one, and then it will be a Tata Group. Under this legal entity only they will have all the company registration and everything. Okay. Now under this legal entity, what are all the businesses they are doing? They are doing Zudio, Big Basket, and Tata Motors. So they under business units, they will have all these three: Zudio, Big Basket, and Tata Motors. After business unit, we will have ledger. What is ledger? Sundar, do you have any idea about what is ledger? I mean, I just want to know whether you are from accounting background or you are from engineering.
Accounting, sir.
Okay. So you know what is ledger, right?
Yes, sir.
It's like a journal entry. Whatever journal we post, it will be
We have
going
to
to
make
ledger. Yeah,
change journal.
yeah. So since it is a Tata Group India, they will have one ledger, correct? In INR currency, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we have one Tata ledger, and currency will be
INR.
INR. And then calendar. We should obviously have a calendar, right?
Yes, sir.
Calendar India we will follow. Uh,
Financial year, sir.
yeah,
April to March.
April to March. Okay. This is the simple enterprise structure. Really, what happens? What will happen is, for example, this Tata, we will remove this India. Let's say Tata Group is having this many things. They also have their operations in another country called United States. This is single structure, single enterprise structure. There is another concept called multiple org structure, which means they are having operations in many countries. Let's say Tata is having operations in INR and US, India and US. Okay, since they are having they are working, they are operating on two countries. The Tata Group will have two legal entities, correct? Because the legal entity which they have in India, it is compliance to our Companies Act, correct? Like that in US also there will be a separate corporate law and separate procedures which has to be followed by any enterprise. So they cannot use the same legal entity in US also. So in that case, for India, we will have a separate legal entity, and in US, we will have a instead of group, what we will do, Tata legal entity India, Tata legal entity US. And in business wise, let us assume in US they are only having IT, which is nothing but TCS, Tata Consultancy and Service. So in business unit, we will have TCS. Is under not applicable. Let's say TCS they are having under legal entity US. If I come to ledger, this Tata ledger is basically INR currency. Whatever transaction happens in Indian currency, it will be posted in this ledger because currency is INR and calendar is April to March. But in case in US, we have to create another ledger because the transaction which happens in US will be in USD. And then currency also will be in USD. Calendar also they will follow not April to March. Their financial year is Jan to December. So in one instance, based on the enterprise, we will have a two structure. This is a single enterprise structure wherein their operations is happening only in specific country. Because of that specific country, they are creating one ledger and then assigning one currency and one calendar. We have to note that in one ledger we can assign only one currency, one calendar. Okay, if you want to assign multiple currencies or any transactions base currencies, we cannot use the same ledger. This ledger currency and calendar, it is the compliance of the enterprise structure which is registered in the specific country as well as based on the enterprise structure. So the difference between single enterprise structure and multiple org structure is a very singles one time setup. You cannot make multiple changes, or like if you made any mistake, it cannot be recorrected. So when we do this enterprise structure, we need to clearly understand that what is the exact requirement. Based on that, we need to come up with a solution that whether multiple ledgers or multiple currency or multiple calendars is required or not. So in our case, we will go with single enterprise structure because this one will take many more time. Like if you go with multiple org structure, we need to create a many profile options, business units, those things and all will coming into the picture. So we will take this example, single enterprise structure, where we will create one legal entity for India, and then under that business unit we will also take one, we will create one business unit. Instead of these three also we will create one business unit. We'll create a ledger, currency and calendar. Uh, any doubts or any questions in this enterprise structure?
No, sir. Done.
Okay. So once we are okay with enterprise structure, the next one is chart of accounts. Chart of accounts. What is chart of accounts? No, in accounting term, for every debit, the double entry system says that for every debit, there must be corresponding credit, which means that whatever transactions happening in the business, we need to create a journal entry. Based on the journal entry, it will be posted to ledger. From ledger, we will prepare a trial balance and final accounts. Correct. So in system also, with the help of this chart of accounts only, we are whatever transaction which we are creating in the system, it will be derived, this chart of, with the help of this chart of accounts, journal entry will be derived, and then accounting entries are created in the system. So before we creating a ledger, we need to prepare a chart of accounts. So to create a chart of accounts in the system, we have the option called key flex field. Under this key flex field, there are value sets. What is key flex field and what is value sets? Key flex field is nothing. In key flex field, we have a two flex fields. One is accounting flex field. Another one is descriptive. Accounting flex field is nothing but with the help of this accounting flex field, the journal entries will be created. Descriptive flex field is nothing but if you want to store any additional information in the system without the financial impacts, like for example, I have created one transaction, but I need to store much more information, wherein in system we don't have any columns or any tables. So in those cases it is a free text. So in this case we will go with descriptive flex field to store additional information. What is value sets? With the help of the value sets only, this key flex field will be grouped. For example, as I told, under this legal entity, we have a one business unit, one ledger, one currency, one calendar. So this is an enterprise structure. But with help of this enterprise structure, we cannot derive the accounting entry. Okay. So to derive the accounting entry, we have to have the segments, which is a company segment, cost center, department, natural account, future one, future two. This company segment, cost center, department, natural account, future one, future two. For example, as I told, in this legal entity business unit, Zudio. Let us say Zudio has paid telephone expenses. The showroom. Zudio has incurred telephone expenses or showroom October 23. Okay. So normally, if you for this transaction, the journal entry will be telephone expenses debit to cash or bank. If they make a payment with the cash, it will be cash. If they make payment with the bank, it will be bank. Okay. So now by seeing this, let's say this Zudio has incurred a telephone expenses for Chennai showroom. Okay. By seeing this journal entry, we will not without By seeing this journal entry, cannot tell that we can tell that they have incurred a telephone expenses and then they have made a payment for the telephone expenses. But we cannot tell that for which showroom they incurred these expenses or for which month they have incurred these expenses. Correct? So for that, we are creating an accounting flex field, which will give us a more detailed view, which for which showroom, for which period, and for which team we have incurred these expenses. So for that, for example, company is a Tata legal entity. This telephone is a P&L item. It is a cost center. So we have to enter the cost center. Let's say it is a indirect expenses. This telephone bill is for Chennai showroom sales team. So sales team is for Zudio, right? So under Tata legal entity, it is for Zudio. Expenses code is 6 default. So this future one, future two is nothing but for future purpose. If in case in future they are expanding their business, so that time we can use these segments for our future purpose. So by creating the accounting flex field with these value sets, when I enter this journal entry, we will able to know that this debit line is having company code as a Tata legal entity India. And then cost center will be indirect. And then business unit is Zudio. So now earlier when we saw this accounting entry, it is not clear. But in system, after we configure the segments and then after assigning the segments to the value sets and field flex field, when we create a invoice and then make a payment, the accounting entry will have this combination. So that by seeing that we are able to know that this is for Tata legal entity India. This cost center value indirect expenses means let's say 100, and then it is for business unit Zudio, and then journal entry debit is telephone expenses and credit is cash or bank. So now this is the accounting flex field structure. So accounting flex field is nothing but the group of segments. To create a segments we need a value set, and then with that value set only we will create a segments, and then this value sets and segments. The segments will be assigned to value sets. With the value set, we will create accounting flex field. And then this accounting flex field is nothing but a chart of account structure. This chart of account will be assigned to a particular ledger. Sundar, are you able to understand? Any doubts, or we'll see the screenshots?
Yes, sir. One second.
Okay.
So, pass the
Hello?
journal entry as telephone expenses, cash or bank, right, sir?
Yeah, cash or bank.
Uh, we can
If it
make
is,
changes in. Sorry, sir.
yeah,
Sorry.
if it is paid in a cash, it will be a cash, or if it is paid in a bank, it will be a bank. I mean, from
Okay,
a
sir.
bank account, bank account means bank.
Hmm.
If they paid in a cash, it will be cash.
Okay, sir. But in the telephone expenses, we can make the changes at whether the paid for a branch is Chennai or Coimbatore. Like that. We can make the changes there itself. So telephone expenses is for Chennai branch and this is for Coimbatore all within the India branch. Why can't we make that change there, sir?
Where? Here?
Here in the telephone expenses, we can create the ledger as telephone expenses uh, with the some branch in Chennai or Coimbatore like that. Why can't we make the change and as we can able to put the narration like this, we can make the change there itself, right, sir?
You're telling here?
Yeah, yes, sir. Telephone expenses for Chennai branch. Why can't we make the change, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. We can make
Hello?
yes, sir.
Fine?
Hmm. We can make it itself.
Yeah, I
While
updated.
creating the ledger itself, we can make the changes. We can create by this way. Is that possible
Ledger.
to make that?
You are telling here?
Yes, sir. That ledger, Tata ledger, yeah, INR, you have made it,
Hmm.
and while preparing the journal entry, I'm saying, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay? What you
Hmm.
are? I got your point. See, this is a ledger name.
Hmm.
Okay. Here, natural account is there, right? Segment natural account.
Hmm.
So this is natural account name. This is not a ledger name. See, ledger name will be Tata Ledger.
Hmm.
Okay. Under ledger name, we will have a multiple accounts. Correct?
Hmm.
Telephone,
Yes, sir.
advertisement.
Hmm.
Correct? For
Yes.
each expenses, we will have some GL codes, right? Let's say telephone
Hmm.
expenses 61301, and then advertisement is for
Hmm.
62708. Correct?
Hmm.
Okay. So here what I mean is the telephone 617301. Okay.
Hmm.
So now let me go to our configuration guide. So creation of a primary ledger, which starts with the third page. So the path is setup and maintenance. We'll get we'll go to our manage implementation project. See how system works is under financial you could see define common application configuration for financials, right? So under each section, if you see define ledger, you will see this define ledger, or else you can search by this. All the tasks are starting with manage only. So if you search with manage ledger means you will see all the things. So before creating a ledger, we need to create a value set. Manage value sets. So in the value set, we have to create a value sets for company, cost center, business unit, natural account, future one, future two for all the segments. See, manage go to task, we will search the any existing task. See, for example, I will open this value set. So like what we entered here, company, they have created ABC company, module is general ledger, value set is independent. Independent means this value set is not dependent to any other value sets. Correct. Company is not dependent to any cost center. Company is a header level. So it is independent. Maximum length is 3, which means that the characters of this, like here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So like that, how many characters you want? So here they give maximum length as 3. If I go to manage values and I search, under that ABC company value set, they are having value as a 101, description is this, value as 102, description is this. So in our case, let me quickly create one value set. I'll put Tata company, description also Tata company, module is general ledger, validation type is independent, value data type is number. So what is the value data type? Under this company value set, what are all the values which we are going to enter? If it is a character, we have to choose it as a character. If it is a number, we have to choose it as a number. Values of type text. Save. We'll put 100 Tata Group, or let Tata legal entity India. Which was so this is the value set which we created. Under that value set, we have added the one value also. So with this, we created this company segment. Under that company segment, we created a one value called 100. So here, under this company, this is the value set. The value which we added is 100. Description of that is you got it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like that, we will create a value sets for company, cost center, natural account, future one and future two, which we have in our today's session. So what I will do is I will just quickly create another 2-3 value sets, and then I will create some sample values. Okay. I will create. Next one is Tata cost center. So we created these three value sets, and then we have added the sample values also for each segments. Natural account I'm not going to create because if we create a natural account, we need to add all the values. So instead of that, what we will do, we will use the existing natural accounts, the defaulted. Here someone has created a account Tata. If we go to manage values and let us search. See, so these are all the natural account values they are using, which is already defined in the system. So we have created this value sets, segments, and manage values. Now calendar. So calendar also, uh, I'm not going to create a calendar. We will go to that setup and then we will see the existing calendar. We will use the same calendar. Manage accounting calendars. Task name is manage calendar. If you search with manage calendar, task name is manage accounting calendar. Go to this task. See, let's see whether anyone has created any. Yeah, someone has created a calendar with Tata prefix. We'll use the same one. So calendar name, they are given calendar. Start date as a 1/1/23. Format is month, year. So once they add if we click on add here, it will add a 2024 now. So this is 2023. This is 2024. Like that, if we click on add here, every year the data will be added. Now let us go to manage key flex field. This key flex field, we will create a accounting flex field for our ledger. I'm not sure why this page takes more time to open that. So until it opens, we will go through our screenshots which I have. So once it opens, the page will look like this. The view is clear, or should I zoom little bit? Are you able to see fully?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you see here, once this page opens, it will look like this. Create a key flex field structure. We have to enter the structure code, name, description. So in our case, it will be Tata Accounting flex field. And then if I go down, we have to add the segments. Whatever we created earlier, we created a company segment, which will be our balancing segment, and then cost center, and then account, and then any future accounts which we need to add, we can add it. Once you add the segments, right side you see value set code. So these are the value set codes which we created in the system in our previous step. We will add a Tata company, Tata cost center, Tata cost center, Tata business unit, and then Tata account. After that, we have to deploy the chart of account structure. So we have to query our chart of accounts and then click on deploy flex field. Once it is deployed without any error, we will get a tick message. If we have any error, we have to go to deployment error message. We have to see why it is failing. So for that, what we can do is, I will go to that page. I will show you. Manage chart of accounts structure. Module is general ledger. You can see here, right, deploy flex field. So now it is deployed, so we have a green tick here. If it is failed, it will be failed, and then we need to go here to see why it is failed. If we go to manage structures, if I click on search, here we will see all these structures which we created. So in our case, Tata accounting delimiter is dot. So this will be the primary balancing segment. Segment 1, the value set which we created. Okay. Since we have not created that flex field, it is not allowing. Anyways, we can see the anyone has created any. Okay. See, so under the Tata, they have created a company, line of business, account, cost center, and the other two segments for additional detail, product and intercompany. Once this chart of accounts is completed, structure is completed, then only they will go to the ledger, and then in the ledger they will assign the chart of accounts. On the calendar they will choose the currency. Accounting method. Accounting method is a double entry system, whether it is accrual or cash. So normally all the enterprise will use accrual method only. And then in the ledger option, which is the first open period, and then what is the P&L account we have to enter. For example, let me go to the instance. Manage ledger, manage primary ledger. You can see a Tata primary ledger. The status is someone has indicated. Okay, we'll create then Tata primary ledger India. Chart of accounts will use any Tata. Accounting calendar is currency is INR. Accounting method is save and close. So after some time we need to deploy that flex field, then it will be get status will be approved. In the ledger option, we'll choose our primary ledger. See, so in the primary ledger, we can change any changes if we want. The first open period will be January. What is the journal language? We'll choose English. We'll choose and then we will enter the retained earnings. So if you want to enable suspense accounts, we can enable that. If you want to enable journal approval, we can enable the journal approval. If you want to use intercompany accounts, we can enable that. So these are all the multiple options which we have in our specified ledger option. So in specified ledger option, we have to define the options which we required for that particular ledger. So any questions in the enterprise structure, accounting flex field, and then creation of ledger?
No, sir.
Okay. So today we have completed this up to this. Now we will add the GL roles, and then we will create one journal, and then we will post to the ledger. So go to the fifth tab. These are all the 5 GL roles. So to make any changes for our user, we need to go to security console. Our user, edit, add roles. We will add general accountant, general accounting manager, chief financial officer, if we are going to use budget and those things, then we require chief financial officer, controller, and financial analyst. So I think to create a journal entries, we are good to with these 3 roles. Let us submit the LDAP. Schedule process, schedule new process. We'll log out and log in so that we'll see. Yeah, go to journals. If you can open journals, see, we have added the roles now, but we have not given any access to these roles. I mean, what is the ledger for this user, what is the data access set, what is the ledger. So now we have to create a data access set for this user. Manage data access sets. And The instance is very slow. Until it opens, I will just show you the screenshots. So under that data access, I'm just searching for my username, and then under my username, these are all the roles which we assigned earlier: chief, general accounting manager, general accountant, chief financial officer. For that, we have to assign the ledger which we created. After that, we have to submit the LDAP once again. Then if you go to journal screen, you have to enter the journal batch, description, and then accounting period, and the code combinations, expenses, and cash or bank. So with this, in the screen, we are just entering the journal entry manually, manual journal entry with a debit and credit for our particular primary ledger. Let me see now. Manage data access for users. We click on plus, vision, general accountant, data access set, data, here, save and close. I think the earlier submitted LDAP is still running. Let me log out and re-log in and see whether we are able to see that screen or not. General accounting journals. Once the LDAP is completed, we will get the data access set here. Then we can create the journals. Until we data access is assigned, we will get this error. So here we will add the journal badge name, description, manual, and everything. We will see our ledger name here, accounting date, and then debit and credit, which you have to enter manually. So with this, we have completed the GL setup. Like we started with enterprise structure, and then we completed the accounting flex fields, primary ledger setups, and then we saw how to create a journal entry. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, I will save this too. I will send these two documents in our today's. Okay, Soundarya, thanks for joining the call. Tomorrow we will continue with the AP.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Who is the